Welcome back. I'm Justin Slagle with Bryan Research and Engineering. We've modeled the test separator and got that connected with our database. The next part is completing our facility. So let's get to it. Starting where we left off, we're going to follow our oil. Our oil here is coming off of our test separator, and we're going to have that go to a heater treater. So I'm going to go to my shapes over here and pull in a heater treater. Once I have that connected, I will have my gas coming out the top of it. I'll have my oil coming out the side here. And I'll have water coming out the bottom. Of course, since it's a heater treater, I will also need to have an energy stream. The heater treater will control both the temperature and the pressure. So I'm going to go to stream 4 here, and I'm going to enter in the temperature and the pressure. Instead of just typing it in myself, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this in from my database. So I'm going to open up my Pi database here, and I'm going to find my heater treater temperature and pressure. So I have my heater treater temperature. Well, I found my heater treater pressure. I'll go ahead and right click on that one, copy my cell. And paste that in right here. Go over to Data Exchange, import Pi. Paste in my tag. I will double click on that one and call this heater treater pressure. Click OK. Now I want to do my heater treater temperature. You can right click on that one. Go to Data Exchange, import Pi. I'm going to paste in my pressure here, and I'm actually going to replace that P with a T. Click Retrieve. Double click on that one. Name it heater treater T, and click OK. Now if I click Execute, it should bring in those values for me. Now my heater treater is modeled, and I will keep following the line here. Now what I want to do is I want to send this oil to a tank. So I will find my tank, drag it out onto my sheet, and now I need to connect all these different streams to it. I've got my flashing losses coming out the top. I've got my working losses, and I have my standing losses. And then I'm going to have the residual amount of oil coming out my tank as well. What I'll do is I will double click on my tank, go to Process Data, and I will say that my tanks are, say, 12 feet tall, 8-foot diameter, and I'll say I have 8 of these tanks. These will be light organics inside the tanks. I'll go ahead and leave the paint as the default here. And then I need to go down here to location. And let's go ahead and say that I have these in Midland, Texas. So I just need to go find that. There it is, Midland, Texas. I'll go ahead and do the calculation basis as a year, although I could go through here and choose which month of the year as well if I wanted to. Okay. At this point, I can execute this, and it will give me my calculations for my oil. So now I can look at my oil, and I can see that my oil is a 39 API gravity oil, and I can even list that out in a callout. I will double click on this callout. Find my API gravity. Probably don't need 5 significant figures on it. And I will just make this a little bit neater. Click OK. And now I have my API gravity right there for me. But I'm not quite done yet, because what I also need to do is I need to take this vapor coming off of my heater treater, send that through a compressor, and mix that in with my high pressure gas over here as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to send it right up here, and I'm going to put it through a compressor, which we have listed under fluid drivers. I will have a stream coming out the other end of it. I need energy in order to run a compressor. And then I need to give it a pressure as well on the outlet of my compressor here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that in from my database. I'll double click on stream 11 here, and I want it to be under this pressure right here. So it'll be my pressure coming off of my heater treater, which will pretty much be my first stage of compression in my compressor train. So I'm going to go over to my Pi database over here, and I'm going to go to my database that I have for compressor station. I'll find my stage 1 pressure right here. I will right click on that, copy that cell, go over here into ProMax, right click here, go to Data Exchange, import from Pi, paste it, pull over the tag, and now I'm going to name it. I'm going to call this the VRU P for pressure. Click OK. I'm going to close this, and one last thing I need to do for this compressor is I need to give it an efficiency. So I'm going to double click on the compressor. If you have compressor curves or something like that, you can put those in. If you don't have that, you can put in an efficiency. I'm going to give it a 70% efficiency. Close that here. And then now I will execute my flow sheet. And you'll see that I have my VRU now modeled. And I also have my tank modeled and my heater treater as well.